Good morning once again, everybody. We are going to talk about the software side of Enshitification and the Android operating system. So, I had the wondrous, glorious time trying to figure out how in the fuck a Android device simultaneously burned through 209 gigabytes of data and was burning a 20-hour battery in 4 hours. One, this took way more time than I wanted it to, and that alone is you're wasting people's time with your shitty fucking coding. Okay, but let's cover some of the basics. Let's start with what an indexer is. Okay, don't really need it for an SSD, although for frequently accessed files it might be slightly beneficial. For a hard drive on a Windows machine, just to lay the common baseplate. For a Windows machine that has a hard drive, an indexer is a program that goes through and essentially puts pointers or flags, however you want to understand them, essentially highlights them, where everything is. Okay. So it goes through, and one of the problems is, and this is why you have to go into registry settings as part of getting a new Windows machine. You got to turn off as much of the telemetry data as possible, and you've got to modify things like continuous indexing. Essentially, an indexer just goes through and finds out where all the files are so you can rapidly load them instead of having to wait 20 or 30 seconds or maybe even 60 seconds if it's a particularly slow hard drive on its way out. All right, so you get quicker load times by doing the indexing. The problem is that Windows naturally, the operating system, continuously indexes. So even though it knows where everything is, as of 2 seconds ago, it's going to run it again and again and again and again and again. The problem is it's got to read and figure out where everything is again and again and again and again, which means your hard drive, all right, it's constantly spinning the disks around and actuating the arms for the read head for the laser, and it burns through the DC motor that powers it, and it burns through the actuators. So it slowly kills your hard drive. All right, instead of having a hard drive last 3 to 5 or more years, you end up with a hard drive that can barely make it 2 because you didn't know that you had to do the due diligence of turning off the fucking indexer. All right, ideally, you want to keep important files on an SSD, something that is solid state drive, something that is just there once the cells are assigned, they're assigned, boom. All right, shit doesn't move. You don't have to go through defrag, any of that bullshit. Android has three fucking loops. Three fucking loops that can be taken advantage of. All right. This is a security thing. This is an economic thing. This is a general stability thing because Android operating system is fucking everywhere now, especially in your cars, which is where it might be even more fucking problematic. So anyway, this device I was troubleshooting burnt through 209 gigabytes of data. And because of it, this individual is now down to 2 gigabyte-ish service, just low-level basic service, because 209 gigs is a lot of fucking data, all right? Especially to just waste, all right? And why is it just wasted? Shitty fucking programming, shitty coding. All right, I didn't even get any kind of legitimate success when it comes to software engineering because by the time I was ready and I got past imposter syndrome and ChatGPT came out and all the entry level jobs fucking disappeared and god damn I was trained well, but Unfortunately, never got to use much of it. All right, outside of personal projects, fixing my own shit. Anyway, one, let's say a software update is coming through. So they're uploading, you're downloading the software update. Let's say there's a corrupted file somewhere in the process. It will continuously try to send you the same goddamn files over and over and over and over and over again. Now you would think if the software update is not coming through in a reasonable time, you'd think you would set some kind of a fucking flag so you just don't infinitely fucking piss through all of the data trying to fucking send shit that obviously the network strength reliability is not stable enough to allow it. Okay? You would think that you would flag it so naturally you don't keep trying to bang your proverbial head against the wall. Okay? That burns through a fuckload of data. The opposite direction, if they use cloud services, anything like that, anything that requires regular uploading of their data to anything in particular, that will go into an infinite loop if it hits a corrupt file. It'll keep trying to upload the same damn file over and over and over and over again. Again, this is basic shit. Basic flagging. All right? You keep track of the files that you're trying to fucking get from them, that they're trying to upload to your server, whatever the hell you got. You would think if, based off the file name, if the same file has tried to resend 42 times or more, that you'd be like, nah, bro, don't send it. Don't send it. I don't need that. All right. We'll just pretend that file doesn't exist. Yeah, you know. All right. And then the more pernicious part, the more dangerous, problematic part. The indexer for Android, if it if it gets to the point of a corrupted file, will crash, reboot, go through again, crash, reboot, go through again, crash, and it'll just keep repeating this fucking infinite loop of trying to index the files, even though there's one that it cannot get past. It cannot get past. Now, you would think, all right, you would naturally fucking think that you would put a flag. Maybe you would keep track of whatever file it was in particular, go by the file name, all right, and then you save that, all right, you save that, keep everything in sync, save the file name that you're on, all right, and then if you encounter that name again within that drive, within that folder, that you would set a flag that, oh shit, we've reached this position before. We've seen this file before last time. Something must be wrong with it. We'll skip it. All right. And whether it's downloading the system update, whether it's dealing with these indexing things, this index loop, naturally, if you were a good fucking programmer, you would think to do these things. You would think to set these flags up. So if you encounter a corrupted file, you can either purge it or repair it. Okay, naturally, that is what you would do. If it's a system file, especially a critical system file, you can repair it, you can replace it. If it's not a critical system file, you can delete the son of a bitch. Or, ideally, honestly, repairing or deleting would probably be the ideal, but certain circumstances, things vary. You don't want to delete somebody's, final picture of their, dead cat or something. Anyway, you could skip the fucker and then continue indexing the rest. All right, maybe have a mild log too as you're going. All right, to really refine the process. These are not difficult things to do. Infinite loops are within the first 3 fucking chapters of learning any goddamn programming language. What in the fuck are you people doing? How do you suck this much? I never even got fucking paid to develop software. And I couldn't fuck up this badly. These are minor things. These are minor things. Simple fucking things. But if you run somebody's phone dead and they get stuck in a fucking snowstorm and they die, all right? Especially -10, -6. It's freezing. Their car dies. The battery's toast. Could be anything. And your shit fucking programming ran their battery to fucking 0 and they didn't have a power bank. You could legitimately get somebody fucking killed. What the fuck are you doing? This is not production level code. This is not something that you push to the fucking main branch. All right? This is shit that you keep in the development branch. This is shit you keep in testing until you work out every possible fucking kink that could possibly even imaginably come up. You do not release this into the fucking world to everybody's fucking devices. It's not even my fucking device, but I still had to fucking deal with this shit. When it comes to enshitification, all right, because so much shit is built on tech, all right, because tech is literally everywhere, we cannot afford software level enshitification fuck ups. You're supposed to be professionals. I hate to fucking be a dick. I really do. But you're supposed to be fucking professionals. God knows you've been fucking paid to be professionals for a long time. At least a decent amount of you. What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing with this shit? Are you trying? Are you trying to legitimately crash the fucking economy? How many things run on fucking Android? Honestly, I did check before I started this. You're not on pacemakers yet, but it wouldn't fucking surprise me. It would not fucking surprise me. This is not what you release to the fucking public. All right, this this is shit that could legitimately, depending on circumstances, you could possibly get somebody killed because of your shitty fucking engineering, because your shitty fucking programming. I don't care if you have a fucking AI threat, if the AI is coming for your job. I don't care if you have to continuously improve because it's the only way to justify my paycheck. I don't care if you have to use AI assist because the corporation that you're working for, all right, is demanding that you use AI for efficiency. Even though you have to go back and unfuck everything it writes every 10 minutes because it cannot write a solid fucking line that just works without breaking something. Okay? We do not need to over engineer software to the point that you need to connect to every AWS database on the fucking planet or every Windows database on the planet. You do not need to create massive fucking dependency trees for all of this fucking junk. Write your own and package it with the fucking base software or don't fucking include it. If you absolutely have to include it, fine, but at least create backups, workarounds, build with the expectation that things are going to fail. Okay? I know it's difficult. I know it's difficult. Sometimes you just can't fucking foresee certain things happening. I get it. I get it. Which is why you do the damn testing. Okay? This is something that's relatively minor, but it could have massive fucking implications. Okay? You're not just breaking people's washers and dryers. You are literally in people's cars. Android Auto is a thing. You are in people's fucking touch screens. All right? It seems like a minor thing. It seems like a minor thing, but if you can burn through a 20-hour battery in 4 hours, you can probably fucking burn through somebody's car battery in the same amount of fucking time. Voltage regulator up to the max potential. Voltage regulator on an alternator will give you the extra power. If that process is still running and indexing and crashing and it's draining people's fucking car batteries, you could strand somebody in the middle of a fucking tornado. You can't be doing this shit. There's a certain level of accountability, reasonable behavior here. All right. I know you're not getting fucking paid for reasonable behavior. I know that at the corporate level, they don't give a single fucking rat's ass about you for the most part. All right. They despise the fact that they have to fucking pay you. Okay. Don't create software that could possibly get somebody killed. That simple. That simple. And you should know good goddamn well. I don't care if you're an American fucking programmer or a European programmer or if you're from Southeast Asia or fucking, broader India. There's fucking standards, basic standards. You should know how to defeat conditions that would lead to infinite loops that burn through resources or massive amounts of data. You should know this shit. You were trained for this shit. All right. I'm going to end it here. If you're in need of personal or business consulting, stop by www.spadesconsulting.com. If you're interested in written work, stop by the Substack. If you appreciate the video, like, favorite, share, subscribe, hype, leave a comment, ring the bell, ding the bell, tickle the bell, do all the things to your heart's content to the bell. And with that, I am going to watch The Desolation of Smaug. Smaug. I'm going to go watch The Hobbit. You guys have a good one. I'll see you next time.